Hello everybody, November 6th, 2023. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Um, didn't do a video on Friday. I ended up getting sick and nothing really had happened. We still really don't have anything happening, but I'm just going to go over everything again real quickly here. So let's see, I guess about 10 days ago on Friday on the 27th, was the last time I did a video. We were looking at potentially if the bulls could break 35.2, maybe they were going to extend. I didn't see a micro setup suggesting it. We did end up seeing something that looked like maybe. It ended up failing. So basically it looks like we're in this scenario here, right? Sideways, it's just neither the bulls nor the bears can break the range. We're seeing three-wave movements up and down, so we're just kind of stuck in this 33 to 35. And that likely means that we are going in the fourth wave, that we are in the fourth wave in the diagonal. And then I did do a quick update on the 30th. Just said we're still stuck in that corrective pattern. And again, if the bulls can get above and sustain above 35.5, we might make a direct move, but obviously they failed at that as well. We made a brief move here above 35.5, but it was pretty quickly rejected. So it did not sustain. We did get a scalp long in the members area back here from about 34.5. So this was right after the Fed announcement. I was looking at this move right here down on the 5-minute chart. It was actually a 5-wave impulse. So we longed at 34.5 and actually rode it all the way up there. Obviously, we were hoping for a pullback and then another push up in order to make that trade happen. But what ended up happening is we rode it down, and then when I saw it come down this deep, on the next bounce, I said, all right, I'm just getting out. So, I got a quick little scalp there from 34.5 up to about 35K. But that's pretty much the extent of the trading I've been doing. I've got a bit of a short going right now because honestly, I expect it to fall, but it could just keep going sideways. So we'll see. All right, let's take a look at the slightly bigger picture here. We are doing what looks to be a diagonal within a larger diagonal. If I zoom out even further, let's see here. My larger diagonal is actually this yellow here, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is kind of what I'm looking at. I guess I took the diagonal itself off because we don't actually know where it's going to go specifically quite yet, but somewhere up there for 3. And likely what's happening now is that we're doing a 5-wave diagonal in A of 3 because these diagonals move in 3 waves. We have A, B, C. That's 3 waves to make up wave 1. We have A, B, C over to make up our wave 2. Once again, I want to say that I'm not fully convinced of this. This is just, giving the bulls the benefit of the doubt. This is the only bullish thing that they can do. At any point, this can break down, and it can continue breaking down, and it can go sub 10K. I want to make that very clear. Okay, so I am looking at the bullish possibility because we want to be bullish. It's a lot easier to make money in a bull market, but the structure really is not fantastic in the macro sense here. But anyway, the only bullish thing that we have is this large diagonal, right? I'm going to make this yellow, and just keep in mind that this is not set in stone right now where these diagonal lines are. It's going to be based on wherever 3 is. So it might go steeper, it might go shallower, right? It's basically wherever 3 ends is where we end up putting that top there. Okay, and we would be working on A of 3. Right, so this would be A, then we get a pullback in B, then we get another push up in C of 3, if this is in fact what it's doing. And even then, this right here is the larger second wave, potential bear second wave, 1, 2, and then a big push down. So there's still, in the macro sense, there's still a lot to be desired, a lot for the bulls to prove. We really need to hold the next pullback after that and then push up. But anyway, I don't want to put the horse before the cart on this. But let's just focus in. This is why I've just been trying to focus on the micro action as much as possible, and look at micro setups and say, all right, if this, then that, right? So if we do all 5 waves in this red diagonal, which should be forming wave A of 3. In fact, let me go ahead and put that on here. And I think I'm going to change this to yellow too, because that kind of relies on this being part of the yellow scenario, honestly. All right, so this would then be our A, B, C of 3. Right, something along those lines. All right, so zooming in a little bit more, we don't have 5 waves yet within this, what should probably be an A wave. We still don't have 5 waves quite yet in this, right? What we do have, though, is 3 waves. We have an ABC up here for wave 1, we have an ABC over for wave 2, and we have potentially, it's kind of a weird ABC, but an ABC in wave 3, very extended C wave. And so we're working on wave 4. And when I noted that this is what it was probably doing when this started pushing up, rather than coming down into this nice yellow box I had here, I said, you know, this is the only bullish thing that I see, and so therefore, once we hit the top there, we might come down directly, or we might chop sideways for a long, long time until we hit wave 4. And obviously it's taking the chop sideways for a long, long time route. So that is my expectation still at this point, is that we are probably working on this. And the way that we're doing it is with a expanding flat. Bitcoin is really loving these expanding flats over the past couple of years. Here's an A, here's a B. It's an expanding flat because B was actually higher than that high of 3. And then we're going to go down for 4, and this is why I expect that we come down a little bit lower, quite likely to, you know, down into this region below A, to finish off C of 4. And that would finish our expanding flat, and then we would get one more push up in a nice choppy ABC up for wave 5. Not exactly clear still where exactly that's going to end, but probably low 40s somewhere, if this in fact holds. I don't remember what this is for. Oh, WXY. Okay, yeah. So same idea. I just have it labeled differently there. Let me get rid of that one. This still potentially could be that B wave top. I'm going to relegate that to an alternate scenario at this point. Just trying to update things to make it a little bit more clear what scenario goes with what. Okay. So yeah, that's what I expect most likely. I mean, this could at any point drop directly down. You know, it kind of looks like it just wants to die. I mean, this action is just disgusting chop action. It's not healthy. So if at any point it just dies straight down, we might get down to about 33, low 33s, maybe 33 and a half, something like that. Test that level again for wave 4. But it could just continue going in a really tight range sideways. Maybe it just stays here right at 34.6 or something. Always a possibility. But we will have to see what the reaction is at that point, though. As soon as we get that touch of that trend line, and diagonals are tricky, you don't necessarily have to stay exactly within that trend line. We might see it start to break down, but we shouldn't see a sustained break, right? If we see a sustained break where it stays down and sort of rejects off of it, excuse me, then we're going to start looking lower again and potentially back down into the sub 25K and, you know, potentially even lower than that, but we'll see. So for now, we have support sort of in this low, let's just call it anywhere in the 33K region, because I'm not sure exactly when it's going to fall, but when it does, somewhere in the 33Ks is likely the best place for the bulls to catch it. If they can catch it there, they've got a shot at pushing up a little bit higher. One thing I like to do for this wave 5 target is actually look at the height of 1. Oftentimes wave 5 and wave 1 are similar in height. So let's just see what this wave 1 height is here. Okay, it's about 15%. So say we get down to maybe 33, you know, somewhere in this region, 33.7, something like that. Wave 5 may only get up to about 38. It may not get all the way up just because wave 1 was kind of short and shallow, but it could go up. So let's just call a broad range of maybe 38 to 43, something like that for our wave 5 of A, and then if that does fill out, as I said, we'll then likely get a pretty big pullback from there. So we might go, you know, 42 all the way back down to 34 before pushing up one more time. And that next push up should get us back up into the 50s if it's doing this, if it's doing the bull path. That's what it should do. So, yeah. A couple very important levels to watch. Watch this. Make sure we don't have a sustained break in the micro. If we do have a sustained break in the micro, then we're going to have to really just keep an eye on pullback on it. There's lots of alternatives. I'm trying to go over them all, but it's almost harder to go over all of the alternatives just because there's so many of them. But if this did break down the micro diagonal, this could be all of A, like this maybe finished here. That could be all of A. We might see B, and then we still might see a C up. That's a possibility. And, you know, so again, just kind of focusing on the micro action, seeing how it develops is really the best way, in my opinion, to try to play this. You know, because if this falls and breaks through, but it only does 3 waves, and then stalls out there, then we might see it go back up. If it crashes through, and then instead of doing 3 waves, you know, the third wave is really big, it's way bigger than wave 1, then we can be pretty confident that we're going to see further downside. So, all right, I hope that all made sense. Lots of possibilities going forward, but really looks like we should be finishing off wave 4 here before we get another push up. So expect more chop, I think is probably the best way that I can put that, but you never know. I mean, I suppose it could just start pumping up from here and hit that wave 5 target sooner rather than later. I wouldn't put it past a diagonal structure to do that, but it looks like it needs to complete downwards just a little bit before that happens. All right, I think that's all I've got to say since I repeated myself over and over again. I will touch base with you all on Friday, assuming we have action. If not, then maybe next Monday, whenever we start getting some action again, I'll do another video. All right, I'll talk to y'all then.